This looks interesting. How did I end up with this rare beauty, you didn't ask? Well, join me for a few and find out. I was in the middle of a work trip and I needed a trailer to pick up a snow machine from an old friend. So I found a boat with 2 working motors and a trailer. Just has a small leak. Titles for both boat and trailer. Only $500. What could go wrong? Here it is, YouTube. A 9-foot rigid inflatable boat with trailer. Now, I should have taken a picture of it before, but this thing was full of snow. No fenders. The tires are still really low. The trailer lights don't work. So last night, I bought it at night, but I unscrewed this, stuffed my headlight in there and screwed that back on. So I had one rear working tail light. Zodiac. But you can tell needs a little bit of love. Okay, so I stopped at Harbor Freight and grabbed a pin, some magnetic lights. My buddy TJ's here helping me out. And we noticed some things while putting air in the tire. There was nothing connecting this leaf spring, and it was just hanging out like that. And go ahead, kick that back in for me. So we gotta find, we're gonna throw a drill bit in it, put some zip ties on it to keep them flopping around, and then go from there. Heck yeah. That'll work. Oh yeah, good thinking. So that is holding our entire axle in place into this janksy rusted hole. But I mean, look at the top of this trailer. It's not all dented up.
Look, that's good, dude. Now if you have any tire wobble, that comes out.
Just pop it. Okay, so not the deal I was hoping for, but I paid $350 for the lot, and the trailer made it till about 10 miles to my home until it gave up the bearing, in which case I fixed it, and then found a guy on Facebook Marketplace who wanted to trade this rad little 3-wheeler for a little trailer to haul his dune buggy around. He was a great guy, Daniel Adams, the owner of A&D Fleet. He met me halfway in Ontario to make the deal, and he was just gonna repair the trailer anyway, so it worked out good. I saved this piece of foam, you know, garbage to everybody else from an old mini bike build I did, and it just fits right there. Oh, all cable stuck. Yep, figured that. Sweet. So I have a strong feeling that this battery is totally shot too. 0.91 volts. Okay, there's almost 1 volt of juice in that battery. I can't find a date code, but I'm gonna not try to salvage that one. Let's check the oil. Definitely doesn't look great, but it's viscous. An old battery here, and this one mounted on top because the lead wasn't long enough. Boy, that sounds disgusting. We're gonna check for spark now. Oh yeah, spark's kicking real nice. So I have spark and I have air because I removed the air filter and air box. Now I move on to fuel. I remove the carburetor and it looks salvageable, but it turns out to be not so much. I'll have to move on with a new one later. Okay, so remember it was clean muriatic acid. Now let's see how it looks dumping back into here. The previous owner had his daughter cleaning this tank out with pea gravel, and it shows. This is actually a very clean fuel tank. Muriatic acid is one of my favorite cleaning agents for the inside of rusty tanks. It works wonders. That's a cleaner tank than I'm used to dumping out. Look how clean the fuel cap is. While I wait for parts to come in the mail, I'll address some other issues, starting with the brakes. The old cable was completely frozen, so I'm modifying this spare mini bike cable I had on hand. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. I'll leave it in there. It's pretty stuck. Since you last saw me, drilled a hole in a bolt and through bolted it for my vent cap. This little inline gas on-off switch, so I'm going to turn that on. I hooked up the throttle cable, so it should be like a switch, on-off switch. I fixed the brake, hopefully. It's got a bunch of lube on it. But I haven't done much else other than that, so let's see if it fires up. There we go. It's like a tractor.
Uh-oh. Well, it's running. Sort of.
Yeah. I could only get this thing to idle, and I couldn't get it to run well at all. It would just cut off and die as soon as I gave it throttle, and it looked like it was getting too much fuel, and it acted like it. And then I thought, you know what? Floatable level, that's what I haven't messed with, because I've messed with everything else. I got all these carb parts, and I built one good carb that I liked. I thought I had all the right parts. No dice. So I finally just pulled everything off that had to do with the old carb, and laying around in all my stuff, which is a lot of stuff, is a new carb. So I modified it a little bit to get it to fit. I now have a throttle cable. I'm going to do a pod filter later. I threw the biggest jets I had in my jet kit in it because it's for a 125cc motorcycle, and this is 390 cc's. So I upped the jet size with no scientific reason at all, just bigger, better. And let's see how she runs. Hold the choke up, turn the gas on, see if there's enough juice in it. It just starts way better. I think it'll need some fine tuning. If you notice, our yard isn't too nice, and I was gonna try to aerate it to put some grass seed down. Brakes work, and there's still a lot to do to this machine, but I think I'm gonna call that good for this video.